We are back for the first annual month of music, 30 days, 30 breakdowns, 30 chances for you to learn more about your favorite music. And today, I gotta tell you, I did not grow up with video games. It just wasn't a thing in my house. We didn't really have consoles, but somewhere along the line, somehow we ended up with an N64 and a couple of the absolute classics, including Super Mario 64, GoldenEye 007, and one of my favorites as a kid growing up, Star Fox 64. Now, when it comes to this channel, I did not necessarily think about the Star Fox soundtrack as something that had, to my memory, a ton of stuff for us to break down and go into. And that was until I literally was listening to a couple of tracks from the soundtrack like 2 days ago. And this theme popped up and I went, wait, I don't remember this being this insane. Listen to this. Wait, okay, so this is insane. This is the boss theme B. And I must have been too busy rage quitting after losing time and time again to really notice exactly what was going on here. Now, this is just such a cool theme, and it's one of many from the Star Fox soundtrack. And to the surprise of exactly nobody, this is the work of the legendary Koji Kondo. I mean, first of all, take a listen to this very first chord. And then So when I first heard that, I'm like, oh, this is a C major chord of some kind. And like, kind of, but we wind up, we're sitting on the 5, and then everything says C major except for the very first note, which is, that's crunchy. And because of that one note, it almost makes the whole thing sound a lot more weird than it is, because after that note drops down to the C, well, now it's just a C major chord. But still, with the addition of that half step up, something is seriously dissonant about this whole thing, right? And that's exactly the point. It's the oh no, we got into the stage where we're gonna meet the boss, and then the next chord that comes, it's not just a development of that same idea moved in a specific interval. No, what happens is now the root note goes up a tritone, and then we get this whole other sound. Listen to that. That right there is a C sharp half diminished chord, or a C sharp minor 7 with a flat 5. We've just divided the notes up a little bit, except immediately we turn this into, what is that? We go from here, that chord, wow. The whole thing is just super mysterious. And actually, if you go back even just to the title screen, you'll see there are some indications that there's a lot of space theme in this. I want you to listen to something really cool from the title screen. Ah, what a sound! Woo! Okay, real quick, before we get to the sound we were talking about, I gotta just talk about that real quick. This brings back serious memories. I don't know if it does for anybody else. Oh yeah. What a great, like, triumphant sound. Right? Woo! Does the root note change, or are we staying on the same root note? Oh no, we do move. Okay, so yeah, we go to E flat major, and then then we get D flat major, but our note is still G, which in D flat is the sharp 11. So we get this beautiful walk down in whole steps. G major, F major, E flat major. That's the classic superhero sound. know what I mean? But we're gonna go one more. And you get that crunchy but still beautiful sound with the D flat major and the G over the top. Amazing. But then we get this chord right here. And that is gonna give way to the classic space sound. That right there. You know where else we hear that? Right there. That sound is in Star Wars, it's in Star Fox, and it sounds like space. And what it is an augmented triad. Continuity error. So we're talking about augmented triads. Now here's what an augmented triad is. You're gonna look for the clue in the word itself, augmented. If we augment something, we make it larger. And I want you to think about this in the context of a triad, not stop it. We take a triad and all we're gonna do is we're gonna take the fifth of that triad, we're gonna move it up a half step. And then we get an augmented triad. That's all it means. It's a triad with a sharp 5. That's pretty much it. And that's really easy to remember because of the word augmented. And this is just really cool to see because this is just like the sound associated with space. We hear it in Star Wars, we hear it in Star Fox. It's everywhere. And then we launch into this section. Okay, so we are now in 5/4, okay? And there's a really cool rhythmic thing happening here. So we have 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5. When we look at a 5/4 measure, we can break it up using our subdivision. So we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. And a lot of people sometimes forget the and on the very end. The way this is broken up is actually a super common way to break up a bar of 5/4. It's an accent on the 1, an accent on the and of 3, and then 4 and 5. And it sounds just like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5. Where else do we hear this exact breakdown? This is gonna be a super sidestep in a different direction, but you gotta listen to this because we hear the same thing in the bass from Take 5 is literally this exact same thing. Now the feel is a little bit different because in Take 5 obviously we have a swung 8th note and in this we have a straight 8th note. So it feels a little different. In Take 5 it's more like 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 1, rather than the more straight 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, right? So it's rhythmically exactly the same. It would be notated exactly the same. It's just felt a little bit differently. But how nuts is that the boss theme from Star Fox 64 shares the exact same rhythmic construction as Dave Brubeck's Take 5. But it's not the only really incredibly awesome rhythmic thing going on in this section. Give it a listen. Dig that! Is that okay? The other really crazy thing that's going on here, check this out. That right there, it seems like such a small thing, and it is a small thing, but it makes a big difference because what we are doing in that moment is we are breaking a 5/4 measure up into two symmetrical parts. Check out how this works. Whereas the main rhythmic theme in this 5/4 section has a downbeat accent, the and of 2, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and then 4 and 5, right? 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5. This one measure, or actually I think it's two measures really, what we're doing is we're dividing it in half, and when you divide a 5/4 measure perfectly in half, you wind up with an accent on the and of 3. It sounds like this: 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5. 1. I want you to notice how I'm counting in 5, but I'm going to be snapping out an even, where if you heard it on its own, you'd be like, that's just like 1, 2, 3, 4. Steady, a steady pace, but it's over top of the 5/4. It's like 2 against 5, I guess, right? And it goes like this: 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. That is how you symmetrically divide a 5/4 measure. And when you do that, you just wind up with this super cool rhythmic device. And that's used here, particularly in the low instruments here. Chromatic. Sounds like we're dealing with like Mixolydian. And that's it. Now perhaps more recognizable is Boss Theme A. This is probably one that many of you will recognize right off the bat. Ah, this is super cool. All right, check out what's going on here. Now, in this, we get to a really cool rhythmic part. This is a lot more straightforward. It's just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can call it 4/4 divided up into triplets, right? So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Very fast sort of triplety feel. But what's going on here harmonically is actually really interesting because we're going to get into the use of the whole tone scale. Now, this is one really interesting thing about the whole tone scale. The whole tone scale is exactly what it says. It's a scale made exclusively out of whole tones. If we start on C, we go whole tone, whole tone, whole tone, whole tone, whole tone, and then we find ourselves back at C. Now, the one thing you'll notice about this scale that's a little different than most scales you might be used to is that it is missing a note. The whole tone scale is only 6 notes. And then it repeats, right? Because of that, it's all whole tones. It doesn't matter where we start. The notes are all the same. Here's what I mean. If we start on C, we have a C, a D, an E, an F sharp, a G sharp, and an A sharp. That is the whole tone scale in starting on C. But if we start on D, all the notes stay exactly the same. See that? Each one of these whole tone scales maintains the exact same notes, as opposed to, this is a major scale. But now if we move up a whole tone and we play another major scale from this note, we wind up with a whole different bank of notes. There's E, there's F sharp, A flat, B flat. See, all these note banks are different, but that's not true with the whole tone scale. No matter where we start from inside that scale, it's exactly the same notes. So if we play 6 notes of the whole tone scale, and it doesn't matter where we start, a D whole tone is the same as E whole tone, F sharp, G sharp, and so on and so forth. What does that really mean? Well, it means that the only other thing that we can possibly do to account for the other 6 notes that we have not played is this. Okay? That's C sharp whole tone, D sharp whole tone, or E flat, F whole tone, G whole tone, A whole tone, B whole tone, right? They're all the same, in exactly the same way they use the same notes. But now we've covered all 12 notes that exist on the piano. So what does that mean? That means that there are only 2 whole tone scales. This is a little bit of scale theory for you, but it's really cool and it's an interesting thing to know. When it comes to scales, we can break them down into like, okay, how many exist before we've utilized all the notes and they're just the same scale. Let's take a look at, for example, a chromatic scale. It doesn't matter where we start in that scale, it's all the same. There's only one chromatic scale because we're using all 12 notes in that scale. Okay, so the whole tone scale is the first scale where there's only 2. And done. That's all 12 notes. There are only 3 diminished scales. Why? Because math. But anyway, so the Boss Theme A uses both whole tone scales one after another. Talk about dissonance. There's just so much incredible content hidden inside something as simple as a boss theme from Star Fox 64 that I grew up with, and honestly, I never even thought to look that hard into it. But I was revisiting it recently, and I thought, hey, what a cool opportunity to talk about 5/4, talk about whole tone scales, talk about augmented triads. There's so much stuff going on here. And of course, it is thanks in no small part to Koji Kondo once again. I wanted to share this with you all today. Thank you so much for joining us for the month of music, and we will see you back here tomorrow.